Good evening and salutations, my Days of Our Lives fans. So before we get started, just a quick update. Tomorrow and Thursday, I'm possibly going to be doing my physical and stuff like that for the Navy, meps and everything like that, hotel stay. So if everything goes through in the morning, there's not going to be a review tomorrow and possibly Thursday. But I'm still going to watch both episodes, so I'll probably give like my quick summary or whatever of the two episodes and just kind of just like marathon through it because I don't know, I like the show, and that's kind of how I always do it anyway. So if you don't hear from me tomorrow, yeah, that means I'm going to be at the hotel getting ready to process for the Navy. So see what happens with that. I know I usually say that, and then the problem is I get there to the office and they're like, oh, well, something happened, this, that, and third, and then I'm doing a review and being like, yeah, so that didn't happen. So we'll see tomorrow, but you know, just kind of a heads up. With that being said, let's start with Victor, because Victor, I feel like I should have been watching this show a long time ago. Because the things that come out of Victor's mouth is just, there's times it could just be straight up hilarious. Like, one second. Yeah, straight up hilarious. So he's not, you know, here's the thing. I feel like at this point, in his age, that Victor just gives no F's about the stuff that comes out of his mouth. And I'm just like, man, I wonder what he was like in his heyday. Jesus Christ, some of the stuff that came out of his mouth must have been hilarious and not intentionally. The reason why I say that is because him and Sean are having a conversation and they're talking about Ciara possibly being alive. And then Sean gives Victor a heads up that Jane Spears is back. And Victor's like, what? You telling me that dingbat is still out there roaming the streets? First of all, the word dingbat is like my favorite non-curse word. If I had to sit there and describe somebody without cursing at them, I'm calling them a dingbat. And between that and what he called Steve, if you've been watching the show for a minute, he called Steve a one-eyed delinquent, and I don't know why, but I was in tears for a good 2 minutes because I was just like, what? I gotta tell you, that character, I mean, I'm pretty sure he's probably done some dirt that I'm not too certain of, besides the whole Sarah stealing stuff, but besides that, which is still awful, by the way, this guy cracks me up. So let's talk about Philip. Or as I like to call, the man-child. Because, my goodness, this guy was whining and crying and being all entitled and bratty. At one point, even Victor was like, you just been acting like a spoiled brat this whole time. I mean, this whole, party, this whole dinner party is supposed to be for you. By people that kind of don't even really want to be there. So, I don't really understand. He's not there whining and crying to his mother. And long story short, his mother just sets him straight. She's just like, listen, Xander's part of the family, he's staying, get used to it. And, also talks about the fact that Xander saved, her life. And yet, that's still not enough for this man-child. Which, I'm not gonna lie, I was so glad when Jan Spears told Sean that, Philip threatened her. And Sean was there and he arrested her. He arrested him. And of course, he's whining and crying and stuff like that. I'm like, oh, you can't take what I say seriously. I was like, first of all, you just told a cop and a lawyer that you threatened to end someone's life. In what universe did you think that was not going to actually happen? the fact that he ignored it, trust me, he did you a favor. They both did you a favor. So when Jan Spear was just like, listen, I want you to sit there and do something. Sean's hands was tied, so he did something. By the way, the fact that, and you know, not to sit there and say he didn't do it, but the fact that he just incriminated himself by saying, yeah, I might have grabbed her wrong. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember. Wow. So anyway, of course, you know, Xander being Xander couldn't help but grin and smile, and I'm just like, bro, you just need to just calm it down a little bit. I mean, I get it. You don't like him. I don't like him. I think a lot of people don't like him, but you might just want to calm down a little bit. How even Sarah called him, and Sarah was like, you had something to do with this, didn't you? Which, by the way, Xander is just being sneaky as hell by trying to by answering the phone and being like, oh, it's for work, because you don't want to get in trouble by your girlfriend. Wow. Now let's talk about another character. Allie Horton. 1 second. So yes, let's talk about Allie Horton, or Allison Horton, whatever her name is. Yeah, actually it is Allison Horton. I guess that's short for Allie. Anyway, let's talk about her. Because here's the thing. So she tells Nicole her backstory. And, you know, she talks about how pretty much she was just acting like a trust fund baby. You know, partying late, not really working, not really trying to get a job, didn't really care because she had money. And right off the bat, I was just like, I'm not going to lie, you are... I am disliking you more and more by the minute. Great job. So, she gets to the part with Tripp, and at first, I'm not going to lie, she kind of said something that just irked the living hell out of me. Because she was all like, oh, well, you know, boys would hit on me all the time. And I was like, really? Because you look average at best. And then she was all like, you know, with Tripp or whatever, I want to make him quote unquote work for it. And I was like, wow, this woman's delusional. But go ahead, sweetheart. Continue. So then she gets to the part, and this is where I'm like, ooh, well, if this story is going where I think it's going, then I understand why you slapped, Tripp. And to be honest, so pretty much she talks about Tripp dancing, you know, in a club or whatever, and she was really drunk. And I'm like, okay, you know what, listen. At that point, she didn't even finish the story. And she pretty much just says that she has sex or whatever, and then she just stops talking, shuts down, goes in her room, and goes to sleep pretty much. And at that point, I'm like, wow, okay. I was like, I partly want to kind of eat my words, but yesterday she really did annoy me. And this falls into this whole consent thing. You know, when a person's drunk, the answer is just automatically no. And from what she's making out of this, what from her version, she's making it seem like Tripp took advantage of her. And you know, Tripp is sitting there talking to Claire, and you know, talking about this memorial service and stuff like that. And then she, you know, she mentions, even with Steve, she mentions Allie and stuff like that. And you know, she's, from the way he's sitting there telling it, he makes it seem like he's kind of the victim, like he doesn't really understand what he did. So I feel like when we get to the middle point of his version, I feel like they both were drunk. They had a one-night stand. And yeah. So I don't know. I'm not gonna lie, I don't really know how they're gonna handle the story. You know? Because in a lot of these stories, there's, you know, there's his side, there's her side, and then somewhere in the middle, there's the truth. But, you know, I feel like the story's kind of good because at least they, you know, they bring up the whole consent thing, you know? And even when when I was, going to the clubs and stuff like that, listen, if I saw a woman that was drunk, I was just like, I'm good. Because, yeah, I'm not trying to get wrapped up in that drama. You know? I'm not trying to get wrapped in the he said, she said thing. And really, if I gotta actually pick up drunk women, then I'm doing something wrong. So, this whole thing just seems like it's gonna be, not gonna lie, kind of controversial. Reminds me of the GH, one that they did with, Kiki and that doctor and that whole thing, so I guess we'll just wait and see how that unfolds. I'm not gonna lie, in the beginning, and to some extent, Allie still kind of annoys me. She had this very childish attitude. And she speaks kind of childish sometimes. She's all like, oh, whatever, and this, that, and the third. And I'm just like, sweetheart, you do realize you're not 16 years old anymore, right? Like, I used to always sit there and get on Claire, especially the original actor of Claire, because they really made her act like she was 15 years old. But with Allie, it's more of a 16-year-old bratty, childish behavior. And so I'm not really a fan of that. With that being said, if this story played out the way that Allie is kind of claiming that it is, then yeah, that's regardless of how I feel about her, that sucks. If he did what she is probably alleging him to do. But he doesn't understand, he has no recollection, he doesn't understand what he did. And I feel like it's because he was actually drunk also. And that's just a whole different mess that I'm just not going to get into. But, yeah, I'm not going to lie. I kind of feel like there's not really a lot that happened. Let me just pause it for a second. Yeah, that's really it. There was really only two things that happened. Philip got arrested. Allie told some of her backstory. And possibly she feels that she was taken advantage of because she was drunk. And if that's the case, then that sucks doesn't even begin to cover it. But I feel like there's two sides to the story. So before I start to really kind of like judge who and who or whatever, I kind of want to sit there and get his version of what happened. Now, I don't understand why he wasn't really more open with his father about the whole Allie situation. I guess that's just soap operas being soap operas. But with that being said, I am, that's actually it. So yeah, that's actually going to do it for this review of Days of Our Lives. I was going to say GH, but and if you're wondering, there's no GH until maybe Tuesday at this point. Who knows? Because of baseball, and I'm just not going to really get into that. Because, yeah. So yeah, that's going to do it. Thank you so much for watching. Be safe. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you know what? What do you think about this whole Allie situation? Do you feel that she was taken advantage of by Tripp? Do you feel like they were both drunk? What is your thoughts on this whole thing? Because I am just not going to... I personally feel like they were both drunk. Which is why he's sitting there acting like he doesn't understand what happened. I feel like they were both drunk. Because there is no... I mean, unless he's just a complete and utter psychopath, which... There are psychopaths in this world. I feel like he doesn't understand because, again, drunk. But that's just my take on it. I want to find out what you think and see where the story goes. So yeah, have a good day, good night, be safe. Wish me luck, by the way, because this whole meps experience is trying at best. And I mean, it's not. Here's the thing: it's not terrible. It's not the worst thing in the world, but like physicals and waking up at the crack of dawn, and I mean like 4:30 in the morning, and I mean, I know that, you know, when you start to do the whole military process and stuff like that, and waking up at the crack of dawn, you just can't get used to it, but I'm not gonna lie, when somebody told me that they have to, you know, be able to, like, shower and shave in, like, 12 or 10 minutes, I was like, I'm sorry, what? I was like, I'm sorry, what? I still can't. I mean, I can do it, but the idea of just, that's a lot. That's a lot. And I'm not going to really get into the whole other things about the whole, what I heard, the military and stuff like that, about certain things you have to do as far as making your bed and stuff. And I got to tell you, obviously I'm going to get through it, but I feel like I'm probably putting on more pressure than I should. Especially with that whole 12-minute shower and shave thing. Jesus Christ, I just flash level fast. Anyway, that's gonna do it. Sorry for me rambling, but I just kind of got caught up in the moment. Let me know what you think of this episode. I will catch you in the next review, and